You're 40 years old, zero invested, and you just did the math on what your peers have been quietly building for 15 years. And the number broke something in you. Here's what I want to tell you before anything else. That feeling is not a verdict. That feeling is a starting gun. I'm going to show you exactly where a 40-year-old with nothing ends up if they start today and execute correctly. And the number is going to be larger than you think. Embarrassingly larger than what most people who started at 25 actually end up with. My name is Dave, and I spend way too much time thinking about late starters. Not people who failed, people who just got started later than the timeline said they should. If you're 40 or close to it, feeling like the window closed, hit that subscribe button, because I run this math obsessively, and the window is not closed. Before we go any further, quick question. Do you know what the median retirement savings is for Americans between the ages of 55 and 64? The people who are supposed to be almost done saving? It's $185,000. That's the median. Half the people who are supposed to be retirement ready have less than that. You are not as behind as you think. Let me destroy the first lie right now. The personal finance industry has convinced you that compound interest is only magic if you start at 22. This is mathematically incorrect. What compound interest actually requires is time, and at 40, you have 25 years before 65. That is not nothing. That is an extraordinary amount of time. Let me run the numbers for you, and I'm going to run 3 scenarios because where you end up depends almost entirely on one variable. How much you invest per month. Scenario 1. You invest $500 a month starting today at 40 years old into a simple S&P 500 index fund at the historical average return of 7% after inflation. By 65, you have $416,000. Now, I know you might look at that and think it's not enough, but here's what most people don't realize. The median American retires with less than that. You'd be beating the median outcome starting from zero at 40 years old with $500 a month. Here's the counterintuitive truth that most financial influencers won't tell you. The person who starts at 40 and invests aggressively often ends up with more than the person who starts at 25 and invests inconsistently. Consistency at a higher rate beats early inconsistency almost every time. The math doesn't care how old you are. It cares how much you put in and how long you leave it there. Scenario 2. You invest $1,000 a month. Same index fund, same 7%. By 65, $832,000. Scenario 3. You invest $1,500 a month. About the cost of a decent car payment and a couple of subscriptions you don't need. By 65, $1.2 million. $1.2 million. Starting from zero at 40. Here's what most people don't realize about the psychology of starting late. The shame of being behind is actually a financial asset if you let it become urgency instead of paralysis. People who start late and feel the urgency invest more aggressively than people who started early and got comfortable. That aggression is your competitive advantage. Think of it this way. You know those people who barely pass their exams all semester and then absolutely destroy finals week because the deadline made it real? That's you right now. The deadline made it real. Use it. Now, you might be thinking, Dave, I don't have $500 a month to invest. I have debt, I have a mortgage, I have kids. Here's what I want you to do. Not tomorrow, this week. Sit down and find $200. Not $500, not $1,000, $200. It's probably in your subscriptions. It's probably in your dining out budget. It's probably in the car you're paying too much for. Just $200. $200 a month at 7% for 25 years is $163,000. That's not retirement, but it is the proof of concept that changes your entire relationship with money. Once the account starts growing, most people find the 500, and then the 1,000. This is where it gets really interesting. There's a specific thing that happens around year 3 or 4 of consistent investing that nobody tells you about. Your portfolio starts making more per year in returns than you're contributing per month. The math takes over. You stop being the engine. You become the passenger. At $500 a month for 4 years, your account is sitting at about $28,000. At 7%, that account earns roughly $2,000 that year, just sitting there. You contributed $6,000, the account contributed $2,000. The ratio gets better every single year from there. Here's what I want you to do with this. 4 steps this week. 1. Open a brokerage account if you don't have one. Fidelity, Schwab, or Vanguard. Takes 15 minutes. Do it before the feeling from this video fades. 2. Set up an automatic investment for whatever amount you can start with, even if it's $100. Automate it so it happens the day after your paycheck hits. Make it invisible and non-negotiable. 3. Invest into a target date fund or a simple S&P 500 index fund. Not individual stocks, not crypto, not whatever your brother-in-law is doing. Low-cost index funds. That's it. 4. Increase the amount by 10% every 6 months. Not every month, every 6 months. 10% of whatever you started with. This one habit will transform your outcome more than almost anything else. Look, you're 40 with 0. You are not behind. You are exactly where you needed to be to make the decision that changes everything. The people who started at 25 didn't have what you have right now. The urgency, the clarity, and the full understanding of what it costs to wait. You have 25 years. That is not a consolation prize. That is a genuinely powerful amount of time. The math I showed you is real. The outcomes are real. The only variable left is whether you start this week or keep waiting for a better moment that doesn't exist. Drop a comment telling me your starting point. Age, amount, 0 or not. I read every single one. I'll see you in the next video.